Hi everyone, it's Jen here, and today we're going to be talking about snowball, or the Viburnum. We had one planted here. One was already planted at our house when we moved in, and I decided it was such a lovely plant that I wanted to add some more. So I added 4 in each corner of our pool and then 2 on the backdrop pool, and I'm really happy with them. And they're so easy. That first year they needed to be watered quite a bit more, but this year we haven't done anything to them really, and they have beautiful blooms. Let's go check them out. Well, over here you can see the snowball tree, and this was here when we moved in, and I just thought it was a lovely tree. So I went ahead and added 2 along the backdrop of the pool. So there's one here and there's one there, and then I have 4, one in each corner of the pool in planters. And I just think it makes for a nice early spring, lovely look. One of the plants I've accented with is the limelight hydrangea. So a couple of weeks after these are finished blooming, the limelights will come into bloom. And so they're kind of coordinating plants, but have different bloom times. So we'll have some nice summer blooms as well. But I just love these. So they're pretty low maintenance. If you are gonna prune these, you do wanna prune them after they bloom. Otherwise, you'll be cutting off the buds that are set for the following year. And I can show you an example of that over here. So you can see this one has buds, blooms on the top, and looks really lovely. And this one over here, I trimmed it, trying to shape it up late in the season, and I cut off all the blooms. So you can see why you don't want to trim this too much longer after it's bloomed, because you're going to prune all those new buds off. So prune it after it blooms. They get pretty large. You can train them like a tree, like I showed you the first one that was planted, or you can leave them like this in a large shrub or hedge. A little bit more information about the snowball viburnum. These plants are hardy from zone 5 to 9. And here in my zone 7B, they do lose their foliage. So all of the leaves were lost, but they're one of the first things that come back in the spring, so it didn't bother me too much. Now, another thing you'll want to consider is these get quite large. They get about 12 to 20 foot tall and wide. So although I do have some planted in containers, and although they did fine over the winter, we left them out all winter, at some point I'm going to have to pull them out and plant them in the landscape, because they're just going to outgrow those containers. My containers are really shallow, so if you had a larger container, they may be okay for a longer period of time. But for me, I think it's time to get those out after this bloom cycle, and I'll probably replace them with some little lime hydrangeas. They do well in sun or shade for me in my zone. And you do want to wait until after they're done blooming before you prune them. And don't wait too much longer after the last bloom. Otherwise, you're going to be pruning off your buds for the next year. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time.